Port of Friday Harbor. This is Meyer Meyer 667.
We are Gay and Robert. 5 years ago, we quit our jobs, sold our house and all of our possessions, and began living the dream of traveling the world with only backpacks on our backs. After flying over 300,000 miles and visiting 82 countries, COVID brought us to a screeching halt. True to our fashion, we improvised and bought a brand new van and built it out in just 6 weeks to explore the United States until international travel opens up. So today on our agenda, we are pulling the boat. We had a great 2 weeks out on the water and being on the boat, and it's time to get it cleaned up. And so before we do that, we're going to give you a full boat tour.
So the boat's a 2008 C-Dory 22 foot. We bought it brand new in 2008 from a dealer in Michigan. Immediately we ended up having this bimini top, which we love. It's aluminum. We had it done in Florida and they shipped it to us, and we put it on ourselves, but we love this. We did the top canvas we just redid. We did all the side canvas ourselves, so these roll down, snap into the sides of the boat so we can have water, or I'm sorry, rain protection. Went to Alaska, we wanted extra fuel tanks, so we have two 4-gallon, these are rotopax fuel tanks in here. The boat has a 23-gallon fuel tank there and there, so 46 gallons total. We carry an extra 6 ourselves, and then we have dinghy fuel and then diesel for the diesel heater inside. So we have 2 storage bins here. We have a house battery back in here, starting battery for the starboard engine, a starting battery in that one for the port engine, and then just storage for lines, spare anchor, stuff like that in these. We have also rocker fuel and water separators here, so it'll separate out any water that's in the fuel, and then you can drain it out the bottom, but it keeps the engines having the correct fuel the whole time. This is the fill for the starboard gas tank, and that side is the gas fill for the port tanks. The water fill is here. I think it's probably about a 20-gallon tank. We fill up the water at that location. So for showering, what we do is we have 2 different things. We can put down the sides, and that gives us privacy except for out the back. But we also have another screen that can go across the back, or we can just hook it around here and we can take a shower. But we have 2 options. One is we heat up water and fill this up maybe, a quarter away or whatever, and then the rest of the way with cold water, and we can just do this. So a lot of times we'll do that. It's super easy, it's quick, it's effective. The other way we do it is we have a solar shower. We put that on the roof. It's not so much in this area, or when we went to Alaska, it's a little too cold there, but we put the solar shower on the roof and then just grab the nozzle and take a shower here. So showering is really not an issue.
So I'll give you a tour of the inside of the boat in regards to the whole layout and the kitchen area. This table here actually folds down and sits down here, and then this converts into a bed as well, which is really nice. When we had our 2 boys on board with us, that would be used as a bed, and then the floor would be used as a bed. This table here itself, this also pops down and creates more room as well. This seat here can be slid forward, and it can be converted and turned around, so then you can sit this way and then you can watch out the front as well. So that's a really nice feature. The boat itself has a lot of storage, surprisingly, but we don't require a lot, so it may not seem big to other people. So in this cabinet, this is where our water tank is, and you can see it's filled up with water, but we have a nice little storage box there, and it holds, a lot of little extras like our toolkit and miscellaneous bear spray. Down here is another storage area as well. And this is huge. This runs all the way underneath this seat here, so you can get a lot of stuff in there. So this is our wallas stove. It's a fantastic multi-purpose cooktop. Actually, it's a 2-burner cooktop. But the other great thing that we use this for is for heating. So when you turn it on, you can put the hood down and the fan blows and it keeps the inside of the boat really dry, really warm. Or you can keep it up and then we have fans running and that blows the heat around. It tends to get moist in here, specifically in the Pacific Northwest, and so keeps the boat really dry and mildewy free and moisture free. This runs off of diesel or clean heat. It's a fuel system that we put the fuel in here and then it just stores under there, and then that draws into the stove, and that's how the stove runs. This is how you turn it on and off. Underneath here is all of the storage still. I mainly keep food in here now, pots and pans. There's a lot of electronic hookups in here that Bob can go over. This is our sink, obviously, but this runs off of a little foot pump. And so you just push it with your foot and you can control how much water you want out or not. And so this is a great little easy, free device itself as well. This is our refrigerator. Super small, but you know, we always make it work. Even with 4 of us on board, I always had plenty of room for freezer goods and cold storage space. So that is a really nice refrigerator too. And Bob actually just installed it under the seat. It's a Norcold refrigerator freezer, and it works really well under here, and it doesn't take up any space in the boat. So that is really nice as well. These are our life jackets that we wear all the time. Anytime we are on the boat, these go on, and they're great because they're not in our way at all. And so if we went overboard, we can just pull the emergency cord. They are self-explosive, and so we don't ever not have them on when we're running on the boat because it's a no-brainer. They don't get in the way, and so you just wear them. It's a great safety thing that you always need to have. All right, down into the spacious V-berth. So believe it or not, this is where Bob and I sleep. Plenty of room. There is plenty of length for Bob being the height that he's at, so that's not a problem. This is our storage locker for our chain and our extra chain, obviously on the anchor itself, so we can access that if we need to. Underneath these mattresses, there's also storage, huge boxes of storage under there, which we created because underneath there was entirely filled with foam, and so we dug out all the foam, and we also have storage in the V part of this boat as well, and so there's a lot of space under there that you can utilize too. This is our great porta potty. Works really well. It's portable. When you need to dump it, you just take the bottom off and you walk into the restroom with it, or a lot of marinas have a dumping station right on the dock, and so you empty that. So that's super easy. This is our window hatch, which creates a lot of ventilation also. And this is for privacy, for when you're using the restroom, and this zips up really nicely without a problem. Snaps all into place. Really efficient. Everything on this boat is really efficient, and we've made it work just like we do in all of our things that we have. So that is the spacious V-berth. And I think that's it for my part of this.
So this is the helm station, of course. Hydraulic steering, which makes it super easy. For navigation, I use a Zoom, which has a built-in GPS. This was like a 2000 probably 7 model or whatever, but it still works. On there I have avionics chart, so I can see the depths of the water as we go. It shows us where we are. Many times we'll be in shallow water and I won't look outside. I'll just look at here and only follow this, because if you look outside, you get messed up. So anyway, that's the chart plotter. This has the radar and also a chart plotter on it. I think it's Nobletech radar that comes through a USB and into here. Again, it's a 2008 vintage. This is an old computer, but still works. We can overlay the radar on the charts, so you can see the charts of the depth of the water and where land is, and then radar will confirm that and confirm where other boats are. This is what we have on the roof, and I'll show you that later, is a CME. And what this does is this amplifies our look. So other big ships will have radar, but we're so small that the radar really won't pick us up much. This amplifies our signal, so we look much bigger, like, you know, like a regular boat or a big boat with this. So I like that. So this here is multifunctional, but the main thing it is the AIS. So it will transmit and receive. And what AIS is it'll show other boats that have the ability to transmit. It shows their name, their length of their vessel, their direction, all that. This will also look to see if we're on a collision course with that boat, and it will do a warning. So when this comes up, I'll see all the other boats out there that have the AIS system. We also transmit too. So the Coast Guard can see us and see our boat name, our length, where we're moving, all that stuff. So if we had an SOS Mayday type of situation, we could say Meyer, and they would be able to pull us up on this AIS. That we love. That's better than radar, because many boats have it, especially anything bigger, usually not this size of boat, but bigger boats, we can see them then when it's foggy or whatever. It shows the mileage, so it'll show how many gallons of fuel we're using per hour. Also shows us how many gallons per mile we're getting. So if we have one engine down, we can get upwards to about 7 miles per hour. If we have both of them on the water and we're going full out, we're probably it's probably about 2.5 miles per hour, and so it ranges in there. This is the tack for the port engine, and then we have one over here for the starboard. We have a depth finder, so this will show us the depth of the water that we're currently in. It's located on the back transom. This is our trim tabs, so when it's really wavy or even choppy, this boat will have it'll slap, it'll pound. So we put down the trim tabs, which are on the back. I'll show you that later. And the trim tabs actually push the bow down into the water, which makes the ride smoother. Just below it is a device that's supposed to work with the trim tabs, so it'll automatically do it for you. I actually haven't used it in a long time. So one thing we wanted is we had a big boat, a 32-footer, and we wanted to have all the features and functions of that boat, which we do. We have them all. But this is the main thing. This is an autopilot. So I can put in a chart on the chart. I can say, I want to go to this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, and I can tell this to go ahead and follow those points, and it'll take us there. So when it gets to a point that it needs to turn, it'll go ahead and turn. But most of the time we use it as a straight. So we just go ahead and click this pilot, and it'll keep us going on that same trajectory as that we are on now. So this is huge, especially because we like to go slow. Without this, we'd have to drive the whole time. So we don't. When we're going slow, we're not driving. This is driving for us. We also have a VHF radio along with a big antenna on top. So this allows us to contact marinas. Port of Friday Harbor. This is Meyer. 660.
Port of Friday Harbor, 2000 calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're a 22-foot power boat. Also other boats, of course, Coast Guard, Canadian Coast Guard, so on and so forth. And this one has an SOS ability also, so we are able to click a button on here and it'll give the Coast Guard our coordinates to come rescue. Over here we have our circuit breakers for our horn, our navigational lights, windshield wiper, anything that we need for the circuit breakers. We have a GPS in here, but this one has one built in, plus our phones can run navionics. I think that's it. One thing is to mention is the refrigerator runs on both 12 volts battery or 120 volts. So when we're plugged into shore power, this is pulling off of shore power. Otherwise, when we're cruising, It's pulling off of the house battery, which we have a 110 amp hour house battery, and then the solar charges that, which I'll show you the solar in a bit. So this is a Bruce anchor. We had this on our big tugboat and it held us great. This is really oversized for this boat. You don't need this big, but it's great because we don't have any issue. We put this on, very nice to hold it. This locks it in place so it can't actually fall. We have, I don't remember, I think 30 feet of stainless steel chain, which then also for this size of boat also adds to the anchor really. The chain sits on the bottom, so it's kind of, it creates a lot of weight down there. So that works really good. We never feel like we have any chance of dragging anchor, so we sleep well. On the top we have the VHF antenna, and then also we have an all-around light, which is LED, and so it doesn't drain the batteries at night. We have the CME, which I showed you before, which makes us look bigger to other boats on their radar because it amplifies the signal. Then back here we have the 100-watt solar panel, which keeps our house battery and our starting batteries charged. So we have a device in there that once the starting batteries are at I think 13.2 or 13.7, something like that, some sort of voltage. Once you're at that voltage, then it goes ahead and passes the voltage on to the house battery. So that way the starting batteries are always charged first and then the house battery second. We also have a 30 amp battery charger, a 3-bank battery charger. So 2 individual for the starting batteries, port and starboard engine, and then the house battery. And that works off of shore power. Engines, 50 horse fuel injected Hondas. We love the fuel injection. These came out like a month before we bought the boat. Otherwise we would have ended up with carburetors. These are fantastic. They've run great. We've had these, or we have about, I'd say, close to 500 hours on them and really have no problems. These are called perma-trim. So these are attached to the stock engine. And what this does, it allows me to trim the boat. So the bow down, the bow up, depending on the waves, if it's choppy, a lot of different conditions. So I can just sit and tilt and trim it with the engines to get the proper trim of the boat, bow or stern. But like I was talking before, we also have trim tabs, and sometimes, especially out of here, it gets washboardy, and so we'll use these, which they're automatic of course, but we'll also put down the trim tabs, and these are great. I mean, these are really good. These do most, I would say 95% of the time we just need these perma-trims. The other 5% we use these, and it makes the ride very good. It's very easy then. We have a swim ladder. So the swim ladder just comes down, and might as well unhook it real quick. So swim ladder just goes in the water like this, and then you're able just to climb up onto the boat. So we actually used this to rescue some guy in the water, so he came up on this and it worked out really well. So it paid for itself already. The trailer is a tandem axle with surge hydraulic surge brakes. So this axle here has brakes on it, so it's just a surge. So when it feels that like the momentum of the towing vehicle is slowing down, it then shifts the hydraulic fluid to actually brake these brakes on this axle here. It's great. We've had it back and forth from Wisconsin to here back a number of times and have never had any issues. So it's very nice. One thing we did when we bought the boat, we were still working, so I had time to just mess around and stuff. We took off all this hardware. All this is full, cord, so it has like basically cardboard or balsa wood between 2 layers of fiberglass. So the problem is you get rain, leak, whatever, and it slowly goes into that core, and it rots it out. And so you'll have big soft spots. So what I did, because I had a lot of time, I took up all the hardware of the whole outside of the boat, drilled it out bigger, put epoxy in, and then re-drilled that hole. So everything on this boat, including this, everything is protected from that. It's probably not a big deal because we keep it in storage, but in case like a cover came off and there's water continually going in there, it's not a problem. So that was a big project, but very satisfying because of that core. Like on your high-end boats, they'll actually do that, but pretty much all of the boats, they don't. And sometimes people will show videos of major problems that they're digging out big pieces of core in different spots and replacing it. So that was good. This is a bow protector. So we can go, because we have a flat bottom, we can go on a beach and put this on sand. So this protects it. Surprisingly, this has been on for like 13 years and it's still like new. On the bottom, we don't have bottom paint like you would. Sometimes you have anti-fouling paint, so it would keep the barnacles from sticking to the boat, but we're not in the water enough. But we epoxied it, so this is epoxy, a really thick epoxy on here, which keeps it well protected.
Hey guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Bob and I have a ton of experience trailering our boat across the nation with the van and cruising the Great Lakes, and even taking our boat all the way from Seattle to Alaska on its own bottom. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching today's video.